Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Today I'm sharing with you my third set of alternative cards using the October 2024 Paper Pumpkin kit called Nest of Christmas. The kit creates a total of 10 cards, 5 in 2 different trifold designs. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, or see any of my other alternative projects, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. For today's cards, I've got 2 cards that use the beautiful patterns found inside of the trifold card bases, along with the tags and leaves cutouts from the coordinating Mary tags and more dies to create these beautiful cards. I also love the neutral coloring of the Female Cardinals and wanted to share 2 ways to color the birds to give you more options other than just red. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin and are interested in getting your own monthly crafting kit, you can subscribe using the link in the description below. I love my subscribers and send them an exclusive card kit each month. The kit includes all the cardstock and embellishments that they need to make 2 of my exclusive card design with the stamp set and ink spot from that month's kit. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any questions you may have about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Products. You can contact me through my email address at the bottom of the description in every video. So for our 2 cards today, we're going to grab all the scraps that we have left over, and I'm going to help you organize them into these 2 cards. So from our second video, we cut some small and medium-sized strips from some of the patterns. We're going to match the larger kind of snowflake pool party with one of the smaller Night of Navy patterns for our first card. And then for our second card, we're going to use the larger piece of the Night of Navy, but we're going to cut this in half at 2 3/4 inches. And that's going to give us this fun kind of angled background piece. We're also going to include for that card the larger shaded spruce scrap piece. This is from the second set of alternate cards as well, and it came from the background piece from the circle. Anyway, you'll have it if you've been following along. So we're going to use that for our card. We're holding on to that center section. This is the piece that came from the rectangle. Continue to hold on to that. We have one more card we're going to share, and we'll use that. And then from this piece, we're going to go ahead and trim again that long piece off. So let's mark that at 1/2 inch and cut. You're going to have these 2 strips left over. Go ahead and put those off to the side. And then take a pair of paper snips and just finish trimming this if you have a little piece that's still, can you see that? A little piece that's still kind of showing. We don't want that on there. We want it nice and straight. Okay, so those are all the pieces that we need. We're doing a lot of stamping and fussy cutting, and then using the die cuts from that Mary tags and more, something like that. What is it? Mary tags and more. Yep, so that coordinating one. Okay, so you can see we've got the leaf and then lots of fussy cutting and stamping. So we're going to begin with this card. So let's go ahead and put the things we need for that one off to the side. We're making this on a card base of basic white cardstock. And go ahead and fold that in half. And I like to use the thick basic white for that. I like the thickness that it provides. It gives a nice sturdy card base. We're going to go ahead and add these 2 patterns to our card base first. The snowflake one will go on the right side. And then go ahead and put the navy one on the left. And then there's going to be a gap. And we're going to cover that gap up with the shaded spruce piece. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. And then we'll go ahead and put this off to the side and we're going to do our stamping. So we are stamping on that back piece envelope that we cut. I think it was maybe for card set number 1. We did a cardinal. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to stamp and cut out everything that we need for both cards. Might as well do that together. So for this one, we only need the cardinal. So we're going to stamp 2 of those since we're going to have one for each. I'm going to stamp those in Memento black ink again because I'm using the Stampin' Blend markers to color them. So there's one. And I think I can squeeze another one right here. Perfect. Okay. So when I looked up the coloring for the Cardinals, I actually had a friend reach out and tell me that I should look up the female coloring as well because there's some really beautiful colors, and I agree. So what I'm going to be using, I've definitely still have some real red in there. So we've got that. I'm going to be using a little bit of yellow. So I've got Daffodil Delight, and I'm using some crumb cake. And I have a couple different marker sets because I've got some that have dried out and some that are still good, and I need to throw away certain things. So I've got lots of crumb cake here. I'm just going to find the one that works. Okay. So for our card that we're doing first, this one has more of a yellow body. So I'm going to begin with my light Daffodil Delight and just kind of do a couple spots, one up near the head, a little bit along the belly, and down the tail just slightly, and on the shoulder and back. So something like that. Then I'm going to take my light crumb cake and kind of blend in some of those other areas. This one might work. Yeah. So kind of blend around the head, maybe a little bit down the neck, into the shoulder. We'll do some in the wing and down the tail. So we have our base color now. So if I'd like to get things a little darker, I can grab my dark Daffodil Delight, maybe add a little shadow along the bottom here, maybe underneath the wing just a little bit, and just a little darker coloring in the tail, the back tail. Then I can take my dark crumb cake and add darker color here in the wing. Maybe a little more shadow under the neck and on the shoulder, and a little bit along the head. Okay, so that's what I've done with the darker colors. And now we're just going to kind of do a little bit of red to kind of add some accents. So if you look at them, they've got a lot more of the red in their wings. So just kind of add a little bit of red here or there. Doesn't need to be perfect. Add a little bit in the tail as well. And then their beak is red, which I think is interesting. Okay. I did forget about the feet, so I'm just going to go in with my dark crumb cake and color that a darker brown. just like that. Again, if you want to blend any colors, go ahead and grab your light color, and that's the best way to do the blending, is to go in with the lighter color right along the edge and blend some of that stuff in. I might add a little bit of red to the top of the head too. Let's see, is this my light? That's the dark. Okay, so I really like the way that looks. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop there for that one. Let's go ahead and do the other one. This one I brought in is a little more neutral. I didn't want any yellow in this one because the colors are a little more neutral. So we'll start with our light crumb cake, just like before. Go ahead and fill that all in. I'm going to grab my dark crumb cake, add some shadows, fill in the wing again. If you want to blend any of those shadows, grab your light crumb cake and blend those. And then we'll take our light real red and again add some of that coloring. And in the beak. Okay. So two fun, different ideas that you can use with the cardinals. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut those out, but before I do, I'm also going to stamp and color a couple more images, and then I can fussy cut them all at the same time. So this one we're done for now. So let's stamp some leaves. I've got that pine branch leaf in shaded spruce. I'm going to stamp a couple of those. I'm going to do 3. And then I've got some of the berries. I just have 2 little groupings of berries, and I'm going to stamp those in the Memento Black as well. And let's just stick one here just to save or use up space. We can put one here as well. Those I'm going to color in with the real red. So I've got my light real red first, and then go in with my dark real red and just add a dot in the center or along the edge, just to give it a little bit of depth. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead fussy cut these out, and I'll be right back and we'll put our card together. All right, so we've cut everything out. I do want to show you that I did kind of cut in between each one of those little branches on those leaves. And so, or in between each one of the leaves on the branches, whatever you want to say on that. So now we're ready to do the die cutting, and I'm going to use this leaf die cut. For this card, I'm cutting out 2 from Shaded Spruce, and for this one, I'm going to cut 1 from Garden Green. I did want to have a little bit of a color difference here between the 2 greens. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. All right, so there I've got those 2 for this card out, and then the other one. So let's go ahead and put those down, and let's remove this little guy because that's for our second card. Okay, so we have all the little pieces. We can go ahead and start to build the images, and then we'll stick the greeting on in just a minute. So let's grab that card base. And what I decided to do was just kind of work right in the middle of my card. Start with a little liquid glue or a glue dot or something on the back. This one's kind of going off to the right. And this one's kind of coming up on the left. Okay, and they can kind of meet there in the middle of the card. Let's add our bird. This is going to go with some dimensionals. And this is just going to go right in the middle of those two, just like that. You want to make sure that the tail of the bird stays on the inside of the card, not to go beyond that edge, or it could get bent when it is going into an envelope. So let's go ahead and do our greetings, and then we can tuck these other things in and around that. So for the greeting on this one, I've got it in the real red cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and add a little embossing powder. I really love the way that the white letters on the colored cardstock look. And so that's why I've done it a couple times. I'm going to combine a couple greetings for this one. So I'm going to start with Christmas. Stamp that near the bottom. And then we're also going to do joyful thoughts for you this season. And we're going to use joyful and season. So once you have that stamped, you can apply your white embossing powder. I should probably get out a new jar here soon. There we go. Tap off the excess, and then you're going to heat it up with the heat tool. Okay. Give that just a minute. Everything's a little tacky, so you want to make sure you wait until it's cool before taking a rag or something and just cleaning off the excess embossing buddy so that you can get that bright red cardstock again. So I can't cut out my greetings by hand. And so I've got a little trick that I'm going to do with my paper trimmer and a Post-it note. And so I'm going to take the sticky side on my left and then the open side on the right and just line it up. This is about a 1/16 or so away from the cut line. And then I can tuck my greetings underneath that. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit lower. And maybe just go a little bit bigger. I think when I cut the Christmas out last time, I put it at the 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to do that again. So I've got my 1/4 of an inch line. I'm going to line up the Post-it note with the top of the lowercase letters on Christmas. And then cut that out. And it just gives me a really nice square that's in line with the greeting. So in case my greeting was stamped crooked on my cardstock, that really helps kind of even everything out. So there's that one. Let's go to season next. I'm going to go a little tighter on season. Maybe just around that 1/16 of an inch or so. Oh, it needs the word you're cutting out actually needs to go underneath the Post-it note. So you're just kind of seeing just the tops like that. There, not perfect, but that's going to be okay. And then we're also going to do joyful. And it might just be easier for me to hand cut this one. We'll see. Again, I'm not very good at this. So we've got Christmas season, just like that. And then let's pop these up with dimensionals. Okay, let's start with Christmas. I'm going to place this down low, right underneath the bird. Try to make it on there nice and straight. Then we've got season, just right underneath. And then joyful, I wanted to come up just a little bit, just kind of have it go over the bird just a little bit, just so there's a little gap there. Then we've got our branches that we're just going to tuck around. I'm going to add them with a little liquid glue on the back. When you're adding these, just kind of think about going different directions. So this one I'm going to have straight up and down. This one I'm going to bring in between those dark colors of the navy and the green. And then this one just kind of tuck it underneath by those greetings. And then we've got the red berries. This is just for a touch of red. You know, we don't have a ton of red, we just have it in the greeting and a little bit in the bird. So having just a little bit more is kind of nice. So it can go between some of the pieces. Here, I'm going to put this one actually on top, I think. Like that. Maybe in just a little bit more. On my original one, I had it behind. So you can kind of pick and choose which one you like. And then to finish this card, I went back to those adhesive backed sparkle gems. And this time, because we have a little bit of that yellow, I wanted to use the gold. And I've got about 5 of these on my card. And you can really just place them wherever you want. You can put them on top or under some of these die cut pieces. Put one there, maybe a small one, mix and match big with small. That's always kind of a nice look. There we go. I think that looks good. And that card is all done. Let's go ahead and go to card number 2. All right, so here's card number 2. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut out from Balmy Blue cardstock one of the tags that comes from that Marion Tags and More kit or coordinating die set. Okay, so here's that tag, and I didn't want a tag, but I loved the little stitching details. So I'm just going to cut off the tag here. Make sure it's nice and straight going across. And then I'm going to stamp on it. The stamp set has these little like dots, like snow dot type image. I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy, just kind of randomly. Oh, that's not the right one. Here we go. So we've got a couple dots in the bottom, some on the side, maybe some in the middle. Put some down here too. Okay. Just really wherever you want to put them. And then we're going to take one of the ribbons. So we got, let's see, like 10 of these ribbons. So I've only used 2 of them because my goal for these alternatives is to only use enough of the supplies for one set. So you should still have lots of pieces left over. You can either do multiples of these cards, or you can find other alternative cards that you like. There are so many talented demonstrators out there. You could also sign up to be a subscriber of mine, and subscribers who receive the kit each month also get a PDF tutorial from me that has even more alternatives in it. And those alternatives are all designed by other demonstrators. So like I'm in a group with some other demonstrators, and we each design an alternative and send them in for this tutorial. And so there's some really great ideas that are always offered from that tutorial as well. So just if you love alternative ideas, then definitely subscribe to be one of my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Okay, so I've kind of done a couple things. After we stamped, I added the red ribbon, and I added it about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and then just added the bird on top with dimensionals. Then I'm going to take my garden green leaf and stick that here between the bird and the ribbon. So it's kind of off to this side. Right about there if it wants to stay. It doesn't really want to stay because the adhesive's on the ribbon. So we'll just give a moment for it to dry. Okay, so it's coming off just a little bit. I kind of love that look. And then we can also do our greeting. And I just did the greeting exactly the same way I did with the red. I used the joyful thoughts to you this season and cut the words out. I didn't use the to you. I just have joyful thoughts and this season. And I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back. I don't know if you can see, but I did these by hand and the rectangles are really sad. But, you know, I think once they're put on the card and they're at different angles, this one's a little more forgiving. And for those really skinny pieces, you can cut the edges and use those for the dimensionals on these skinny words here. So let's start with thoughts. We'll put that one down here, kind of overlapping a little bit of the bird and leaf, and then joyful. And like I said, these do not need to be straight. Then we have this, which we'll add underneath the bird. Kind of tuck it underneath there at an angle. And then put season as well, this season. Okay, so it looks something like this. I love all those colors together in that more neutral cardinal. I think it looks so pretty with this card base and these bold colors. So let's work on the card base. Now that we've done this, we're kind of working backwards here. Bone folder. I love using my bone folder to make nice creases on my card bases. And we're going to add our blue. These are kind of rectangles. One side will be a little longer than the other. So you can kind of just decide, you know, which way you like them to go. And I'm just going to put one in the top right corner and then one in the bottom left corner at different angles. I'm just going to find the middle and just do a little cut just to create a little slit, and then that helps me make a better fishtail banner. I've got my little tricks to make things nice and even. So then you just go from the corner to the top of that slit, and it makes for a perfect fishtail on both sides. I'm going to add this at an angle with dimensionals. Because everything's a little crooked, it kind of is nice that nothing has to be perfectly straight. Okay, so that's what the background looks like. Then I can add my centerpiece, and I'm just going to put a dimensional at the top and bottom. If you want to put a little adhesive in the middle, you can. And then that's just going to go right in the center. Something like that. And then I do have the silver adhesive back sparkle gems. And for this one, I just did 3. And you can really place them wherever you want. I'm going to keep them on the center piece just so that we can kind of see them. You could add more down here too if you wanted. Maybe I will. It's kind of fun to do that. Maybe I'll put a small one up there, and we'll put a big one right there with another small one. So 3 in each corner, just kind of a fun look. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these 2 fun cards today. If you're interested in getting your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please do so using the link in the description box below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.